Less than 2 weeks, Mainers will go to the polls to vote on 8 statewide questions. This week and next, we are breaking down the ballot.
Today, we're focusing on question 2. Grace Bradley explores this referendum question from both sides.
Do you want to ban foreign governments and entities that they own, control, or influence from making campaign contributions or financing communications for or against candidates or ballot questions? That's what question 2 is asking Mainers this November. We spoke to those for and against question 2. This election day, Mainers will be asked to vote on foreign money in elections. Caitlin LaCase is the campaign manager for Yes on 2 Protect Maine Elections, who says the proposal will make Maine elections more secure.
Foreign government-owned entities have spent over $100 million in Maine elections over the last 3 years. So a yes vote on question 2 would ban that type of spending and would return Maine elections back to the voters of Maine.
Meanwhile, Patrick Woodcock, president and CEO of Maine State Chamber of Commerce, says it will limit free speech and participation in our democracy.
The ballot initiative really restricts participation from companies that have interest in Maine from participating in future referendum and also donations to candidates.
We have seen this conflict between international companies with vested interest in referendums and Mainers before, most recently in 2021 with the New England Clean Energy Connect corridor proposal. Hydro-Quebec spent over $22 million in election communications to oppose the referendum question concerning halting the corridor and other high-impact projects. Despite 59.2% of Mainers voting yes to stop the corridor, Maine's Supreme Judicial Court ultimately sided with the companies involved to push the project forward.
Well, I could see certainly some situations where a company with foreign ownership is on the side with Mainers, and that it's a U.S. company that's based in Florida that is on the other side. We should be careful about applying what occurred with one referendum with a new statute that would prohibit it in all instances.
Foreign governments are already banned from supporting elected officials or candidates running. So this would really impact referendum campaigns, which is how Mainers are allowed to directly affect Maine laws.
In July, Governor Mills vetoed this legislation, citing too vague of language that she said, quote, would likely result in the unintended consequence of effectively silencing legitimate voices, including Maine-based businesses, in debates that would impact their interests, end quote. Not only would question 2 restrict foreign governments and entities' involvement in state referendums, but it would require media outlets to remove all communications paid for by foreign entities and do their due diligence in preventing communications that are directly or indirectly paid for by a foreign government entity. Those opposed say these limitations are unconstitutional and violate First Amendment rights.
Our state is bordered by 2 Canadian provinces. We share an integrated economy. We want those companies across the border to be looking to invest in the state, and more globally, when we do trade missions, to signal that the state is open to business investment from across the world.
Those who support question 2 say it's all about protecting Maine.
It's really important for our state's interests and the interests of our voters that foreign governments are not permitted to interfere with our elections. Maine elections belong to Maine voters.